Hey everybody, it's Joyce, and thank you for popping in. Today I'm going to take you to the San Lorenzo Catholic Cemetery in St. Augustine, Florida, where I have been cleaning the gravestones of some of St. Augustine's key families, pioneer families. Something that I learned about when I was doing my research for my video about the Woodmen of the World was about a Black group that was similar in format in that it was essentially a life insurance policy with a particular group that included a headstone at a time when finances could be such that people might not have the money for final expenses. This group, that was organized by two former slaves, new freedmen, was the Mosaic Templar Association. And what I found in San Lorenzo was a Mosaic Templar stone that was buried. There it is. So I didn't know who it was until I cleared things away and was able to clean it and see. But this is the stone of Elvin Luges Fleming. He was born in March of 1884 in New York City, and he passed away in September of 1922. He was only 41. And according to records, he passed from tuberculosis. Now, this was a time in the United States when tuberculosis was a huge killer. Tuberculosis is attributed with killing 1 billion in 300 years. This was the second of TB's pandemic waves, which lasted from 1918 to 1922. So he was in the tail end of that. The author Ralph Waldo Emerson also came to St. Augustine for treatment for his tuberculosis in the 1820s. One would believe that Mr. Fleming came here for the same reason. Buried near him is his father Henry, who passed in 1908 at only 49, and his mother Nancy, who passed in 1932. Also, a brother, Myathan, who passed in 1933 at the age of 56. That's all I know about Elvin. But let's talk about the Mosaic Templars, a Black fraternal order founded by former slaves John E. Bush and Chester W. Keats in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1883 to provide illness, death, and burial insurance when few basic services like this were available, even fewer for Black. Emancipation, we know, happened in 1863, and in June 19th of 1865, the third bill of the Emancipation Act was issued by Major George Granger, issued to announce in Texas that all previous slaves must be freed. This went on to become Juneteenth, as it's known. Now, about the founders. John E. Bush and a white friend were standing in a street corner in Little Rock, Arkansas, when an elderly Black woman approached them, asking for donations to help with her husband's final arrangements. Bush marks this as the spark that motivated his action that became the Mosaic Templars. John Edward Bush was born in 1856, passed in 1916. He was born a slave in Tennessee. Shortly after the outbreak of the Civil War, he and his mother were sent to Arkansas. He grew up in a single-room cottage as one of 12 children. His mother worked as a nurse, rarely home. Food was irregular for the children, and at 15, John was able to get work, apprenticing as a brickmaker. He moved with that to pay for his own education and eventually teach in country schools for children suffering as he did. Over time, he worked in the Postal Service actually accomplishing the position of superintendent of mails until President Grover Cleveland removed him and any other Black person from office of note. And he served in the Arkansas Land Office. He himself was a significant landowner around Little Rock. So when he had that encounter with that elderly woman, he was already a notable man in the community and man of land. Together with his close friend Chester Keats, led the formation of the Mosaic Templars. Chester W. Keats was born into slavery in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1854. Slavery was abolished in 1865, and so he was able to complete his education and did in 1874. Chester became a clerk for the U.S. Railway Mail Service in 1875. Interesting that both of them worked in the mail business, holding it until 1890. Keats was also a Republican politician, elected to Pasalki County Circuit Court clerk as in the 1890s, then appointed as crier as the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Eighth Circuit. Eventually, he was the receiver for the Little Rock Traction and Electric Company in 1895. In 1896, he was made U.S. Deputy Marshal for the Eastern District of Arkansas, Deputy Constable of the Big Rock Township, Little Rock Police Court Judge as well. He and Bush founded the Mosaic Templars in 1882, which was incorporated in Little Rock in 1883. Local temples were established to unify and to inform members, with a secret initiation ceremony that involved 8 degrees. In 1883, chapters for females were established. Started to provide illness and death cost support. The Mosaic Templars expanded into the savings and loan business that would assist with entrepreneurs and homeownership. Life insurance, publishing, college, nursing school, and hospital. Or it failed during the Depression, as so many things did. And Keats served as the Grand Master of the Mosaic Templars until his death. Unite fraternally all persons of African descent of good character, of every profession, business, and occupation, and to give all people moral and material aid, its power to its members. This is the quote that led the formation of this group. Not interfere in the political or religious opinions of their opinions. They stressed the business side of the organization so that people would have skills they needed to thrive and survive. By 1905, it had lodges across Arkansas and thousands of members. Booker T. Washington delivered the dedication speech for the new headquarters at the corner of 9th and Broadway in Little Rock. In the 1920s, chapters Mosaic Templars covered 26 states. Now, the Mosaic Templar Cultural Center sits in the building that Booker T. Washington helped christen in 1913. The Cultural Center provides education and support for the African American community, focusing on Black achievements. Part of the historical support is a catalog of all the Mosaic Templar stones across the nation. I have discovered 3 here in St. Augustine alone in 2 different cemeteries and added their data to that. Sadly, like so many other businesses, the Mosaic Templars failed, as I stated during the Depression. The Monument Department of the Mosaic Templar Association began in 1911 to provide markers for the deceased. Operations were conducted by the state until 1914. When a central department was founded in Little Rock. Members paid an annual tax along with their premium to assure a stone. On the stone is MTA, Mosaic Templar Association. 2 crossed shepherd staves represent Moses and Aaron from the Exodus story, leading their flocks. The 3V represent John Bush's claimed motto of Julius Caesar, Vente Vidi Vici, I came, I saw, I conquered. And the Ouroboros represents the cyclical nature of life. These are beautiful stones. stones I've just recently discovered and am so excited about, and even more excited that there is a database gathering the information. I was crestfallen when I discovered that there is no database of the woodmen of the world, which are magnificent stones. If you've seen my video, they're tree trunks. They're carved marble, stunning tree trunks, but there is no database whatsoever. Anyway, I was able to free Mr. Fleming, straighten him a tad bit, and make it known that that is who is resting there. I often update photos and information at the Find a Grave website with photos of newly cleaned stones, or in this case, information about the Mosaic Templar element of the stone that was not already there. So, hope you enjoy, and thank you.